Hey, Ichabod, what you doing? What are your thoughts on eBay? What do you think? Is it a good selling platform? Are you more of a Mercari cat? Oh, I know you're not for Poshmark.
Probably for Poshmark.
Oh yeah, for Poshmark. Hey, what's up? It's Rachel here. Finally caught up on my at least recordings. So here we are. It's May 21st, 2025. So let's see how long it takes me to get this video out, which should hopefully be short.
Good luck with that.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I am an artist. I am a part-time reseller. I'm also somebody who is obsessed with sustainability and saving things from the landfill, saving the planet. Go, Captain Planet! Yeah, that was my generation, so.
Looting and polluting is not the way. Hear what Captain Planet has to say.
The power is yours.
I'm here doing videos because God knows why. Because I'm trying to be artistic and I'm trying to provide information because as just coming from a small business perspective and somebody who also is a part-time reseller, it does feel like there's so much information that gets thrown at you with a lot of opinions that are based upon personal experience, but maybe not as in tune with what the data is saying. And that goes for me too. Obviously, without having any information regarding, who you are, what your parameters are, what you're working with, where you live, all that stuff, it's really hard to provide good advice. I could just say, hey, just sell a lot of things really cheap, really fast, and you'll make six figures. Because that's what I do. A, I don't. And B, that, doesn't always work. So here we go. As always, everything that you see on this body and on this mannequin are thrifted. I had to put the Just Keep Swimming because we are continuing our Disney Pixar theme. I got this at the Goodwill bins quite a few years ago, but it's just great, especially for right now, because how y'all doing?
Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills. When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
Just in the world of, the economy, the world, everything going on. How's everybody feeling? Stressed? Yeah, me too. It has been interesting trying to figure out if tariffs and the economy and stuff are affecting my sales. It's really hard to tell. My sales are a little bit lower than last year's just from a data standpoint, but there are so many factors that go into that regarding what you're selling and the price points and how you're selling and all that stuff and who's seeing your listings. And without having some of that information, it's hard to tell if it's the economy or if it's me.
It's you.
I don't know what it is in the water, but things are crazy right now. Literally just before we get into supplies, just getting into things that are going on. I got 2 notifications 2 days in a row from Pirate Ship, which is the third party that I use to purchase shipping labels. They have discounted labels. So there were 2 adjustments from the post office. One was for a silk slip dress that literally is lingerie, and the other one's for a t-shirt. And they both were under £1. And for some reason, the post office adjusted it because they said both of these packages, completely separate items, going completely different directions, weighed 3 pounds, 8 ounces. And so this lovely t-shirt, which I sold, for $8, suddenly cost $14 and something cents in shipping.
Oops, my bad.
Yeah. You can dispute it, so you go onto the shipping labels and you can actually file a dispute through Pirate Ship, which is what I normally do because once in a while these kind of things come in from wherever. And usually I've won most of them, you know, because there's no proof that they show. They can be like, okay, this 4-ounce thing is now 3 pounds, 8 ounces. Okay, prove it. Show me. Like, show me where I went wrong, because they're in a green poly bag and this is what it is. And there's no way. As much as I enjoy this company, their responses are AI. Or if it's not AI, it's somebody trying to be AI. And it's like, it's great to send like cute pictures and stuff, but when you're dealing with the fact that you just took like quite a bit of money out of my account, like, and then you're going to send me a cute picture to be like, yeah, you can dispute it. And I'm like, no, like, actually talk to me like a human being.
But I don't want to be a pirate!
Which is part of like doing business, right? The most people who run like multi-million-dollar businesses will be like, it's the price of business. Even when I worked at Starbucks, they still like accounted for things like theft. Like, it's called, you know, the cost of doing business. But the thing is like, when you're Starbucks and you're making millions, if not billions of dollars, and the cost of running a small business where you're making, you know, just enough so that you can pay your dad's rent and maybe get new headshots, because mine are so freaking old and they're so expensive. Yeah, it adds up really fast. And then, you know, the difference, it's the same thing with returns, you know, like returns is the cost of doing business. Somebody is not going to like something, you know, and you have to account for that loss in money. But the smaller you are, or the smaller the margins you have, the more stressful those things are when they do happen, because to a, you know, 6-figure income reseller, like, to, you know, small adjustments under $20 is not a big deal. To somebody who, you know, gets enough to pay their dad's rent and, you know, is trying to be frugal with money.
Apparently, it's a big deal.
And, you know, in my last video, one person who commented, from 26 years of experience, first of all, that's amazing. Is it 26 or 27 years of experience, which is incredible to be doing this for that long. But they mentioned that shipping was super easy and that they use calculated shipping, which I didn't even get into, because after 20 minutes of talking about the post office and all of the things that go into the weight, the dimensions, how is it going, you know, zones, all that stuff. And this is a personal opinion. I do not think eBay needs calculated shipping. I get why they do it and why it has been a thing. And I'm not going to get into it till the next video. But at the end of the day, whether it's free shipping, calculated shipping, or flat fee, like, shipping is not free. Shipping is going to cost you. You are going to have to, on eBay at least, you are going to have to get a label. And so it just depends on your personal preference. I actually put in a post on Facebook regarding it, and it's polarizing. It's like putting pineapple on pizza. Like, people love it or they hate it. And there's really not a lot in between. So I don't know. Is it easy? In my opinion, no. But, you know, I also, like, I sing, right? So I can read music. I can look at a piece of music and I can tell you, like, what key it's in. I can tell you what the notes are. If it's bass clef, it's going to take me a second because I usually only do treble. But I've learned music since I was younger, like a kid, when I first, you know, played the flute. So for somebody that has no idea how to play an instrument, they can look at a piece of music and be like, what the F is this? And does that make it easy for me? Yeah, but I've had a lot of experience. So, and to some people it is. It's super easy. And for that, I say more power to you. But for some of us, it's not as easy to wrap our brains around, or at least for me. It's, you know, it could be just a me problem.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
There are a lot of things that are a me problem. Just ask my boyfriend. So, you know, if it's easy, that's amazing. And I thank anybody for taking the time to write a comment, even hate writing. I've done some in my time, so I get it. And, you know, if you want to talk about my looks or, you know, how horrible I am or untalented, great. Welcome to being a performer.
How did I come to this?
Not again.
I played Richard III. 5 curtain calls.
There were 5 curtain calls. I was an actor once. Damn it, now look at me. Look at me! I can't go out there and I won't say that stupid line one more time.
So it really is like, you know, if you ever want to know what it's like to be rejected as a person, you know, just in general for your career, just be an actor because it's great. Today we're going to talk about shipping supplies because, you know, there are so many costs that go into running any kind of a business. Even as a performer, it is so freaking expensive. I literally just came from a Zoom session from SAG, which is the Actors Union for Film. And I did a headshot session. And literally the guy was like, yeah, go with the most expensive headshots, because headshots, when I was first starting, were $200, $300 was considered spending a lot of money. That was also a long time ago. Now it's over $1,000. And so you're asking people for that initial investment, hoping that you make that back, you know, as you book jobs. I find that it's very similar with reselling, is that you have to or at least you feel like you have to make all of these initial investments and then hope that the sales come in that are going to pay for it. Sometimes it's very hard to know what's going to sell, how it's going to sell, who's going to find it. Like I said, there's a lot of things that have to do with algorithms and all these promoted listings things that are that add a wrench into the system. And so without having that information or that data, you can see how many people looked at your listing, but you don't know why.
Oh, why?
But what do you do? Let's say you just have some things that you want to sell, you want them to go to a new home, you don't want them to go to the landfill. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why things end up in the landfill, and I think that would be a great video. So maybe next, after I finally finish this thing, I can start on that and kind of get a sustainability video that's kind of reselling related. My track record's not so great right now, so which I'm laughing about because it's so funny, because people have this preconceived notion of actors and artists and that it's
I'm Joey. I'm an actor.
You know, and then I'm taking months to make videos because, you know, I need to be artistic, and it's just great. Okay, so let's say you found this wonderful Karen Scott embroidered Christmas button-up, and you saved it from the landfill, you washed it, because I do wash everything that I find from the bins. It's just a thing. I don't know where it came from, so I'm gonna wash it. Anyway, so you have this amazing Christmas button-up that's just waiting for the holiday season, which is gonna come way too fast. And you sell it. And so you have this wonderful, look at these, they're like snowflakes on the cuff. It's awesome. But anyways, you sell it, and then suddenly you have to ship it. What do you do? What do you need? Anything that is clothing, like a shirt, a skirt, you know, a small toy that's not breakable, you know, what I will do is I will use a poly bag. Dum-ba-da-dum. Okay. It's green because I have red hair, and so everything that I love is green.
Duh.
I do not have any affiliate links because this is an artistic endeavor, and I'm not trying to send you all to a Amazon site where I get a commission, because I'm not a big fan of Amazon. But you can purchase them on Amazon, you can purchase them on eBay, you can purchase them on Uline. There are many ways. I would look up polybags and kind of see what works best for you. But yeah, so it goes in here. However, with clothes, I have noticed as a buyer that when I purchase things, a lot of times things just come in a poly bag. And this plastic in the year 2025 is flimsy. And it's not just mine, because when I purchase, other people are using their own poly bags. So when you're dealing with shipping and things are getting shoved into whatever vehicle, and sent to you and transported and handled, there are a lot of opportunities for things to fall, things to snag, blah, blah, blah. So I use also clear plastic poly bags. So let's say, again, we have this top, but there we have a clear plastic. So I'm gonna fold it, I'm gonna put it in this clear plastic poly bag, and then I will put it in another plastic poly bag. This is where I become a hypocrite.
Hypocrite warning.
Because I'm super obsessed with sustainability, and using double plastic is not the best. When, not if, when situations change and I find a better option or I find a better solution, I will absolutely use that. But anyways, here, in plastic, I put a thank you note. I let the buyer know that 50 cents from every sale is going to our food bank, which is right now the Second Harvest Food Bank in Orange County, especially because food banks have lost quite a bit of their funding. They need some help. So, but that has always been a part of my business policy or my business mission statement, which was to make sure that even as I'm trying to make money, that I'm also finding ways to give back. It is what I call compassionate capitalism. I thought I created the word, but apparently I did not. So, you know, I probably heard it somewhere and then was like, oh, what a great idea. And then in my brain, I was like, oh yeah, I'm amazing. I came up with that all by myself. No. Anyways, then I have to weigh it because, like I said, the weight is going to determine like how much something's going to cost. Here we go. I got mine from Target a million years ago. Again, there are many places where you can go for it, including eBay, Amazon, and, you know, stores, like actually going physically into a store. I know it's weird now, like everything's online. So it's like, wait, you can actually go into a store still? I weigh it and then enter in the information, which we will do in the next video. So for clothes, something like this lovely thing, there's like 3 things that I use. Polybag, scale.
Okay, that sounds easy enough.
And then I print out a label. And that is attached to the computer up here. I'm on the 2nd floor in our house, where I call this my eBay photo room. I have a thermal printer. It is a Rollo thermal printer. I've only had one thermal printer in my entire life. My boyfriend actually got that for me for either my birthday or Christmas. He's very good at practical gifts. Do you need a thermal printer? Not really. You know, if you have a printer, you can print out the label and slap it on. If you do not have a printer, that's where things get tricky, right? There are QR codes that you can use. I have personally never done it, so I've never tried it. But if you do not have access to a printer, if you do not have access to a thermal printer, this might be your best option. So cool, if you're selling, you know, small plushies and clothing, you're good.
Good, really, really good.
So what happens with things that are, you know, like bigger jackets or, you know, things that are fragile? You need boxes.
I need to use this box.
And with me, that's where the sustainability thing comes in, because I personally ask my friends and family for boxes, all these types of boxes. The only thing I do not use is things like from Costco, like food boxes. First of all, those boxes be flimsy. And second of all, nobody wants like you bought like $100 thing in a Doritos box. You know, it just doesn't look great. You can. I've seen it happen a lot, you know, for the most part, like talk to your friends. I put out a notice on Facebook. I have like 3 or 4 people who've reached out to me. I've gotten a whole bunch of boxes. So it's great. Then if something's fragile, you're going to need things like bubble wrap and packing paper. Both of those things help cushion anything that's delicate, anything that you don't want, like, let's say you put something in a box and if there's nothing there to like pat it, it's just going to roll around. Like, oh, there's also airbags too. So for the most part, when it comes to all of these things, I do buy packing paper and bubble wrap. I try to buy recycled bubble wrap. And then I also buy packing paper. I bought it from Home Depot. I bought it from Amazon. But a lot of times with packages that you get, that people get from Amazon and stuff, there's paper in there. There's bubble wrap, there's those air pocket, there's those airbag things. So people also save those for me. So I end up like using those. So I only get like a thing of bubble wrap and a thing of like packing paper maybe once a year, which is great. You know, things like, even if what you're purchasing, like I'm purchasing recycled bubble wrap, or you purchase recycled boxes, even if they are recycled, it does use resources. So if I can take something that's already been made and, you know, it's still good and in good condition, and use that for my package, then, I mean, the hope would be that people just continue to use it until it can't be used anymore. But realistically, probably where I'm sending something and the packing, the boxes and the packing supplies and stuff that I use are probably just going to get recycled. But at least it had another trip. We saved a little bit of water. We saved a little bit of energy. So
It's just recycling.
and so then we need something to, you know, close the boxes and make sure everything is wrapped together. So then we need packing tape, and we need a dispenser. This is from Uline, which is like, I haven't had any complaints about them. But I first purchased a used dispenser when I was first starting, and it was like bent. I was so mad. Like, it was such a pain in the butt. And then I got this one and life was better. So I guess I will probably like advocate for purchasing a new dispenser. You know, some things are good new, not everything. Some things are great recycled and used. So it's like figuring out what, so that we lessen our footprint, you know, for all of the major celebrities that use private jets.
That, FYI, was sarcasm.
But, you know, that's why I'm trying to save stuff from the landfill. Like, when you go to the Goodwill bins and you see, like, or the outlet or whatever, and you see these mountains of just clothes in these piles, and then you also can see, like, how badly made things are. Like, how many things probably went through, like, 1 or 2 washes, and now they're just destroyed. And they're not usable anymore. And those things are just going to go to the landfill, or they're going to get sold overseas. And, you know, we can see it from space now, so... Yeah, anyways, that was my diatribe on recycling. But anyways, tape gun. Also tape. This one's a little bit bigger than I normally get. I usually get them from Costco. Why? I don't know. eBay has their own tape. If you have a store, you get like $25 a quarter to spend on eBay branded supplies. You know, it's $25 because I have a basic store. You get more money per quarter, the higher store, but that's also more money you're paying per month. So take that with what you will. But at the basic store level, I get $25 a quarter. You know, you can get these fun little things, and it's fun they're very colorful. I enjoy it. I enjoy representing. I do not use these with like Poshmark or Mercari. You know, don't want to contaminate. Anyways, so those are the supplies.
Wow. I finally finished something I wasn't supposed to start. That is impressive.
That's pretty much it. So we got some fun, you know, shipping supplies. And so let's see if I can turn the camera around and do some packing for the next week or so, and see if we can like show all of that fun stuff, like how to actually enter in the information on third party and on eBay. And then, you know, there's a million videos about this. I just want to help. I just want to provide some slight entertainment. But yeah, and as I realized as I was editing the last video, things change rapidly. Like the post office made changes to their delivery speed with the Priority Mail and Priority Mail Express. So the information that I was imparting was not correct. So, and that was just within like a month or so of editing. So this is probably going to be obsolete. But, you know, I think I want to continue to like just look into things and provide information and see what we can, maybe experiment on and what we can impart wisdom wise, and see if we can help some people create a small business. And, if that's just paying for a couple of things, like paying medical debt, or, a vacation, or your student loans. I mean, like literally we're in a world right now where a lot of people like cannot afford, something happening, like a car accident or a bad medical diagnosis. And that's not okay. But it can be scary. As somebody who is like, that's where I am. It's like one thing happens. Like I got something hit my car like a month or so ago, and just the next morning my tire was completely flat, and then I suddenly have to get 2 new tires because apparently the other tire is like ready to go as well. And that's like $400. And it's like, how do you plan for that extra $400? How many things do I need to sell when after all is said and done, everything is taken out? It's $400. So anyways, I'll get off the soapbox. I mean, I'm only 5'2", so it just means that, I'm not going to make the top of this video. But yeah, it's hard out there. So let's give each other a little bit of grace. And that's all I got. I got nothing else to impart. I hope everybody's doing well. All 2 people who will see this. And Carpe Diem, y'all.